Our spring-like temperatures roll on across the Bluegrass State. Now we're tracking showers and thunderstorms rolling across parts of the Bluegrass State. That's just ahead.
2 months after the murder of a Lexington teenager, police make an arrest. We'll talk to a friend of the victim now at 4. And a college student killed in a terrorist attack in Israel had ties to Lexington. His friends talk about their loss.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Palumbo. It's another warm day across the Bluegrass. Here's a live look at downtown Lexington where temperatures are in the mid-70s. It's dry right now, but rain is on the way. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a first look at the forecast. And Chris, some places are seeing rain right now.
Yeah, it's been kind of teasing parts of the Bluegrass region over the past few hours, Jennifer. Majority of that, though, as expected, staying to our west today. Tomorrow, it's going to be right on top of central and eastern Kentucky, second half of the day especially. Clouds are beginning to stream on into town, really not hurting the temperatures, though. 74 degrees. Humidity is at 41%, so it's inching up a little bit compared to the same point yesterday. Can you pick out where the clouds are thicker and where it is raining? 74 Lexington. We've had a few drops into Frankfort, 67. Look at Fort Knox and Owensboro. 59 degrees, yet southeastern Kentucky, some areas making a run at 80 degrees this afternoon. Defender Radar Network picking up on the rains that are just to the north of Frankfort, up toward the Williamstown area, Covington, Cincinnati, western Kentucky. Heavy rains, flooding likely across the western part of the state over the next 24 hours. All of that goes back into parts of the Mississippi Valley, lifting its way onto the northeast. Big upper level low that is spinning across the Lone Star State of Texas. That axis of heavy rain will slowly but surely work its way towards central and eastern Kentucky starting Thursday and into Thursday night. That'll be the first of several waves that we track into the coming weekend. Jennifer, when I come back in 15 minutes, we'll show you some rainfall numbers that are on the hefty side over the next several days.
We'll see you then, Chris. The final 2 suspects in Lexington's third murder of the year faced a judge this afternoon. Marquez Smith and Marique Sturgis are both charged with murder, robbery, and assault. They're accused in the shooting death of 18-year-old Caleb Hallett near UK's campus in January. WKYT's Mark Barber is at the Fayette County Court Complex with the latest on the case. It's our top story at 4.
Caleb Hallett's friends have been following this case very closely these past 2 months. They say yesterday they finally heard what they'd been waiting for when they learned his accused killer was arrested. Marquez Smith and Marique Sturgis were arrested and charged with murder yesterday. Police say Smith shot and killed Hallett and Sturgis shot his roommate. Police had been searching for the 2 men since Hallett was killed in January. Keegan Gaskin, the 18-year-old's neighbor and friend, says the arrests have brought him a much-needed sense of relief.
The house is just lifted. It's kind of an easier place to go through, to go to sleep at night, to wake up in, to talk to your friends.
These court documents reveal the motive behind the murder. According to an arrest warrant, 2 juveniles drove Smith, Sturgis, and a third man, Kenyon Hips, to Hallett's home to rob him on January 9th. Court documents state that the 3 men got out of the car, and when they found Hallett in another car with his roommate, Smith shot and killed him.
He meant so much to everyone. We all miss him because he inspired us to be the people that we want to be.
As the case against Smith makes its way through court, Gassett says he hopes it will end with Smith serving a lot of time. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Smith did not want to talk about the case from the Fayette County Detention Center. Suspects shot and killed himself when he was on the run in Ohio. Police have arrested the 2 juveniles who were in the getaway car. Their names aren't being released because they're underage. A terrorist attack in the Middle East hits close to home for some people in Lexington. A Vanderbilt University graduate student who'd served our country was stabbed to death in Israel. 28-year-old Taylor Force was on a school-sponsored trip in Tel Aviv. Police say a Palestinian man went on a stabbing spree in the port city of Jaffa yesterday, killing Force before being killed himself. Force recently spent time in Lexington at his family's horse farm. His friends say they'll miss him.
Taylor was up for anything. You know, it could be just, hanging out at somebody's house. It could be having dinner out on the town here, going to Kingland, doing tailgating. He was a West Point graduate, served his country proudly overseas in Iraq. So really for the first time in a long time, he was able to enjoy himself and do things that he wanted to do.
After he graduated from West Point, Force served as a United States Army officer in Iraq and Afghanistan. Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu expressed his condolences on his Facebook page. We'll have more on how Force is being remembered on WKYT News at 6. Police make an arrest in a stabbing in Georgetown. Police say Jerry Humphrey was stabbed multiple times with a pocket knife last night on Scroggins Park Drive. He's at UK Hospital with life-threatening injuries. 50-year-old Ezra Hoover is in the Scott County Detention Center charged with assault. According to his arrest citation, police say Hoover admitted that he wanted to, in his words, fill the victim with holes because he'd called him names. A traffic alert about Interstate 75 at the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Both lanes of I-75 South in Jellicoe are expected to reopen at 9 tonight for the first time since a rock slide shut it down. I-75 North remains closed while crews work to clear the rocks. One northbound lane should open on or before March 24th. Detours are still in place for drivers coming from Tennessee to Kentucky. Just go to WKYT.com for details. Our reporters are working on other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. The state continues to investigate the illegal dumping of radioactive waste in Estill County. Last night, we learned the Energy and Environment Cabinet delivered 4 violations to Blue Ridge Landfill in Estill County. The state also sent a cease and desist letter to Advanced T-Norm of West Liberty and said the waste disposal company could face civil fines up to $100,000 for each dumping. We'll have the latest on the investigation on WKYT News at 4:30. Kentucky State Police are investigating some suspicious fires in several counties. KSP says there have been 6 fires in Owsley, Lee, and Jackson counties since January. The fires have destroyed several camper trailers and homes. The arson task force is offering a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. We'll have more details for you on the fires coming up on WKYT News at 6. Search and rescue crews are dragging a river this afternoon looking for any sign of a missing man. A golden alert was issued in Whitley County after Joel Moses disappeared on Monday. His truck, wallet, and jacket were found near the US 25 bridge yesterday. So far, today's search of the Clear Fork River hasn't turned up any clues. We'll have an update on WKYT News at 6. Supporters of a bill to require children to wear bike helmets in Kentucky are rallying in Frankfort. House Bill 254, also known as TJ's bill. We introduced you to TJ Floyd back in January. That bill is for Floyd, who suffered a traumatic brain injury when he was 8 after hitting his head on the concrete while riding his bike. We'll update you on the bill's status coming up at 4:30. That is a look at just some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Despite a key victory in Michigan yesterday, Bernie Sanders continues to lose ground in his Democratic duel with Hillary Clinton. And in the Republican race, Donald Trump won 3 of the 4 states that voted yesterday. And a new poll shows he's on track to win in Marco Rubio and John Kasich's backyards. Scott McLean has the latest.
So you have the water, you have the steaks, you have the airline that I sold.
At times, Donald Trump's latest press conference looked more like an infomercial.
We'll charge you about, what, 50 bucks a steak? Now, well, if they want, they can take a bottle of wine home. Anybody want one here? Take one.
And at the polls, voters in Mississippi, Michigan, and Hawaii were buying what Trump was selling. The GOP frontrunner picked up 72 delegates, helping to widen his lead. Ted Cruz won Idaho, but the path to victory for anyone but Trump is getting increasingly narrow, especially for Marco Rubio and John Kasich, neither of whom did better than 3rd.
I've been an underdog my whole life.
Now, a new CNN ORC poll shows that both Rubio and Kasich are underdogs in their own states. Trump leading 41 to 35% in Ohio and by a wider margin, 40 to 24% in Florida. Rubio is not only chasing a surging Trump, but also fending off Ted Cruz, who's getting some big-name help from Carly Fiorina.
The only guy who can beat Donald Trump is Ted Cruz.
On the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders had a surprise win in Michigan. But with a huge Clinton win in Mississippi, Sanders lost the delegate count. And that same CNN ORC poll shows Clinton winning in a landslide in the next two big contests, Florida and Ohio.
Hello, Cleveland. Hello, Ohio.
In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
For the next 2 days, all eyes will be on Florida as both Democrats and Republicans face off in another round of debates in Miami. A taste of Keeneland will soon be bottled by an iconic Kentucky bourbon maker. Details in WKYT Money Watch. And you might want to stock up on olive oil. Prices are rising fast because of a global shortage. That's next on WKYT News at 4.
Want to make great meals easy? Then you'll want to come to our kitchen makeover event. Look at all you get in this Amana stainless steel package, now $17.99. Plus up to 3 years zero interest and with select packages of free 50-inch TV.
Nobody beats peanuts. Clients come into the office. The government has said, no, I don't believe you. You're not disabled.
The major problem with Social Security disability is that most people who sign up are denied at the initial level. If your claim's denied, don't give up. Call us immediately. We'll appeal your case.
We can do an effective job of representing you that will get you the benefits that you deserve.
Call Morgan, Collins, and Yeast, 1-800-55-WILDCAT.
Important message for women and men ages 50 to 85. Please write down this toll-free number now. Right now in areas like yours, people are receiving this free information kit for guaranteed acceptance life insurance with a rate lock through the Colonial Penn program. If you are on a fixed income or concerned about rising prices, learn about affordable whole life insurance with a lifetime rate lock that guarantees your rate can never increase for any reason. If you did not receive your information or if you misplaced it, call this number now and we'll rush it to you. Your acceptance is guaranteed with no health questions. Please stand by to learn more.
I'm Alex Trebek, and the announcement you just heard is for a popular and affordable life insurance plan with a rate lock guarantee. That means your rate is locked in for life and can never increase. Did you get your free information kit in the mail? If not, please call this toll-free number now. In the last month alone, thousands have called about this plan with the rate lock guarantee through the Colonial Penn program. And here's why. This plan is affordable, with coverage options for just $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. Your rate is locked in and can never go up. And your acceptance is guaranteed. You cannot be turned down because of your health. See how much coverage you can get for just $9.95 a month. Call now for your free information kit. Don't wait. Call today.
Call 1-800-909-4488 for your free information and free gift. There's no obligation. That's 1-800-909-4488. Or visit us online at colonialpenn.com. That number again is 1-800-909-4488. Call now.
Want to make great meals easy? Then you'll want to come to our kitchen makeover event. Look at all you get in this Amana stainless steel package, now $17.99. Plus up to 3 years zero interest and with select packages of free 50-inch TV.
Nobody beats peanuts.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Home Depot wants to pay up to $19 million to settle a class action lawsuit over its massive 2014 data breach. That begins today's WKYT Money Watch. Most of the money will reimburse shoppers for out-of-pocket expenses. About 50 million customers were affected. A court still needs to approve the deal. Goodyear is reinventing the tire for self-driving cars. The Concept Eagle 360 tire is the shape of a sphere that would connect to the car using magnetic levitation instead of axles. The tire can move in any direction, allowing the car to move sideways into a parking spot instead of parallel parking. A popular Italian dressing is getting more expensive. The cost of olive oil spiked last year. It's now up 20%. The jump is being blamed on the drought and disease that devastated a big part of Europe's olive crop. The higher prices are already prompting shoppers to switch to alternative oils. According to figures from the International Olive Council, global olive oil consumption dropped 7% in 2015. A new edition of Maker's Mark will have a taste of Keeneland. The two groups worked together to come up with the special edition of the Spirit. Keeneland says the bourbon will be on sale soon. Maker's Mark says Keeneland actually built its own barrel to develop its own Maker's Mark. Hilton could be getting into the hostel business as part of a plan to attract millennials. The rooms would be bare-boned. There would be no chairs, desks, or fridges, and they would cost less. You and the family can discover endless riches this weekend in Rupp Arena when Disney on Ice presents Treasure Trove. Dean Stevens is out and about with a preview next.
Rain beginning to break out across parts of western Kentucky. That rain is aimed into the bluegrass region over the next several hours. We'll time it just ahead.
Lexington's water rates are some of the highest in the country, and your bill could be rising even more. Why the water company wants to increase your rates for the 5th time in 10 years. The rising cost of water, Thursday at 6 on WKYT. When big news breaks, be the first to know. Download the WKYT News app and turn on push alerts. Breaking news at your fingertips when you need to know what's going on. Push alerts, now available on the WKYT News app.
I'm Alex Trebek. If you're age 50 to 85, I have an important message about security. Write down the number on your screen so you can call when I finish. The lock I want to talk to you about isn't the one on your door. This is a lock for your life insurance, a rate lock that guarantees your rate can never go up at any time for any reason. But be careful. Many policies you see do not have one. But you can get a lifetime rate lock through the Colonial Penn program. Call this number to learn more. This plan was designed with a rate lock for people on a fixed income who want affordable life insurance that's simple to get. Coverage options for just $9.95 a month, less than 35 cents a day. Act now and your rate will be locked in for life. It will never increase. Guaranteed. This is lifelong coverage that can never be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Guaranteed. And your acceptance is guaranteed, with no health questions. You cannot be turned down because of your health. Call for your information kit and read about this rate lock for yourself. You'll also get a free gift with great information. Both are free, with no obligation. Don't miss out. Call for information, then decide. Read about the 30-day 100% money-back guarantee. Don't wait. Call this number now.
Call 1-800-440-4200 for your free information and a free gift. There's no obligation. That's 1-800-440-4200. Or visit us online at colonialpenn.com. That number again is 1-800-440-4200. 1-800-440-4200. Call now.
Turn back the clock around the clock with Merle Norman's anti-aging complex system. 94% saw an improvement in the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. 91% agree skin felt firmer around the eyes. 91% felt an improvement in skin smoothness. Ask about our latest anti-aging complex dry oil serum. Merle Norman. Your gift with the purchase of 2 or more Merle Norman cosmetic products.
Have something that needs investigating? Email us or call the WKYT Investigates tip line. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Warm conditions again today. Few thermometers eastern Kentucky as expected, tickling the 80-degree mark. Now we get set for showers and thunderstorms to crash the party as we go through the next several days. Let's jump into our live sky cams and check out the Florence cam, wet roads, Louisville, wet roads. We've had a couple of showers around the Frankfort area, but notice the farther east that we go, more in the way of sunshine, little cloud cover in Lexington. So remember, those areas that have the rain, northern western parts of the region on those sky cams, 10 degrees colder into the Covington area than yesterday, 13 degrees colder. Fort Knox and Louisville, yet central and eastern Kentucky, the numbers are warmer. That's because those are areas getting in on a little late afternoon sunshine. Only 62 Covington, 74 Lexington, 77 in Jackson, where thermometers were right around 80 degrees a little earlier this afternoon. Defender Radar Network, calm, quiet for many of us. Rain going to bypass most of the area tonight to our north and west. A little bit of rain across parts of Owenton into the Covington, Cincinnati area. Heavy rains across western Kentucky. Flooding is a good likelihood over western Kentucky over the next 24 hours. The rain train goes all the way back into parts of Texas. Gulf of Mexico wide open for business. You can trace this moisture supply across Mexico and into the Pacific Ocean. All of that is aimed towards central and eastern Kentucky over the next several days. Comes at us in waves. Tomorrow we're going to jump into the low 70s by noontime. Into the afternoon, numbers start to come down as the rains settle on into town, and it looks like a wet Friday evening or Thursday evening for many of us across central and eastern Kentucky. I'm already trying to get a jump start on that weekend. Hour by hour forecast. 7 this evening. Notice how the rain stayed to our north and northwest. Right on through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning when we start out the day, upper 50s to low 60s. By 2 o'clock into the afternoon, mid to upper 70s. We could hit 80 or 81 degrees southeastern Kentucky tomorrow afternoon. Incredible warmth that gives way to showers and thunderstorms. Then as we go through late afternoon through tomorrow evening, that'll carry us into Friday morning with a weak front that is on top of the area. By Friday afternoon, temperatures are cooler than what we've had today and over the course of your Thursday too. By 10 o'clock Friday, all of that lifting back to the north. That's going to mean more in the way of rainfall coming back into the area as we go into our Saturday with scattered showers and thunderstorms that will be around through the weekend and into early next week. All told, through Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we could be talking about a couple or 3 inches of rain into much of the area. By the way, we spring forward with those clocks before going to bed Saturday night. Did someone say spring? It looks like it's going to hang tough through much of next week as well. Let's get a check on traffic now with Officer Don.
First, a live look at overall Lexington traffic flow. We're okay on the circle of the interstate and even outbound Nicholasville Road, holding its own from slow traffic around the circle. Not as your collision on the north side just popped up the outer loop around Meadow Lane, outer loop of the circle of Meadow. Drive times to Nicholasville, about normal, 12 to 15 minutes. Outbound Harrodsburg looks good, and Leestown, no problem, Leestown Road. Versailles Road is a short hop across the county line. Now back in the studio.
Thanks, Officer Don. It's time to get tangled up in a treasure trove of Disney entertainment. Mickey, Minnie, Donald Duck, and more are all in Lexington for a weekend of fun.
You had me at Mickey. Deanne Stevens out and about today with a preview of the show. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are preparing for Disney on Ice. All the folks have moved into town, taken over Rupp Arena this weekend. We have Shelly and Josh with us. Part of the cast of Disney on Ice, what part do you play?
Well, I'm a specialty act performer with Disney on Ice Presents Treasure Trove, presented by Stonyfield Yo Kids Organic Yogurt. And what that means is that I kind of get to bring a really cool acrobatic element to our show with some of my tumbling background. And that means I get to kind of stray away from the rules of figure skating and really bring an interesting, unique element to our show.
Well, you're doing like flips on skates and everything. You're the guy out there that people are going, oh, how does he do that, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of fun because you start an element and then you kind of hear halfway through and they're like, oh, and then you land it and they're like, oh yeah, that's great. You know, you can hear the crowd react.
Should I ask about ever not landing one?
Well, that's why we practice very, very hard and we train all the time. We are highly trained professional athletes and we make sure that we're in our top condition for each of our shows. We have lots of rehearsal time before the week starts and we make sure that we stay in good shape throughout the entire tour, so we're at our best.
And Shelly, what part do you play in Disney on Ice?
I'm an ensemble skater, so you see me there throughout the show in different costumes, so it's a lot of fun.
Tell us about Treasure Trove. What are we going to see this weekend?
Sure. Well, Treasure Trove is a celebration of Disney's first full-length animated feature film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, all the way through its 50th, which is Tangled, and everything in between. So you really have something for everyone, even something for the grandparents. We have old stories like The Lion King and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and then we have newer stories like Tangled and Princess and the Frog, and everything in between.
Well, I love when you say it really is something for everybody, because it is. The costumes and what you guys see on the ice, it's beautiful, the colors. Talk a bit about that and how the kids just light up when you guys are out there.
They do, and we have more than just Prince and Princesses. We have a great Peter Pan segment with sword fights and Captain Hook. And we have a lot of funny parts of the show, too. So it's not just for little girls, either. It's for little boys. Bring them out. They're going to love it.
Be a part of the fun Disney on Ice happening at Rupp Arena this weekend. You can check out all the details at DisneyOnIce.com. Get your tickets or get your tickets at the door The show is running through Sunday. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Deanne. Some baby formulas may not deliver what they promise. We'll explain next in Better Living. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $50 million, and Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $15 million.
You may be surprised to learn that you do not owe us a fee unless we win at trial or are able to obtain a fair settlement for you. So if you've been injured in an accident, hurt on the job, or the victim of medical malpractice, you don't owe us a fee unless we win your case. And your initial office visit with us is absolutely free. My family has represented you and your families for almost 30 years now. Today, we are honored to help you when you need us most. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
If your home, office, or church is in need of accessibility, visit the friendly specialist at Transitions Lift and Elevator today. Make an appointment at our drive-in showroom where we'll demonstrate the benefits of our easy-to-use Bruno stair lift system, wheelchair lifts, and elevators before we install them. Our top-of-the-line affordable equipment is easy to use and custom-made to fit any home or business. Transitions Lift and Elevator is a local family-owned company and a factory-trained and certified Bruno dealer serving all of Kentucky.
Torture of an elderly woman in a nursing home.
Her grandmother was being abused. Nationwide, about 1 in 3 homes have been cited for abuse.
Nursing home abuse happens daily, and our loved ones need protection. If you or someone you love has experienced nursing home abuse, call 800-800-4600. If your loved one has suffered from malnutrition, dehydration, broken bones, or bed sores, don't wait. Call Hughes & Coleman. Call 800-800-4600. You need to act now.
Want to save energy and money? By replacing an older refrigerator or freezer, you can save hundreds of dollars on your energy costs. And we'll pick up and recycle the old one for free. Turn that old appliance into cash. To schedule your pickup, call today. Cumberland Valley Electric and South Kentucky RECC, your Touchstone Energy Cooperatives.
At Baptist Health, we want you to know the facts. Visit BaptistHealthTalks.com to view a video of Dr. Jennifer Fusen on minimally invasive surgery. Baptist Health Lexington. Be a healthier you.
Do you have to get in a car accident for your insurance to matter? What if you could get help with more often? You can when you're a member and your insurance is AAA.
It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. New research finds special baby formulas that claim to protect against allergies are not effective. The study, published in the British Medical Journal, looked at 37 different trials and found no evidence that the formulas reduce the risk of developing conditions such as milk allergies and eczema, a skin condition. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration previously approved manufacturers' claims that some formulas can reduce the risk of eczema. A business that started as a hobby now helps thousands of animals every year. Jamie Yukis shows us how one family gets dogs back on their feet.
Sam Lamb's dachshund Pepper can't move her back legs.
Look at you go. She's such a good girl, and all she does is look at me with these little sad puppy eyes, and I can't stand it.
They came to Eddie's Wheels in Sherburne Falls, Massachusetts, so Pepper could get measured and fitted for new wheels.
Look at you go. Look at the baby. Oh, my God.
Eddie Grinnell was a mechanical engineer who decided to design wheels for his Doberman 27 years ago when she could no longer use her back legs. The idea took off, and he started his own business with his wife, Leslie.
Took out more mortgages than we believed possible, but the banks loved us too because the bankers all had dogs.
The couple now has a 5,000 square foot workshop and 17 employees.
This was supposed to be a retirement hobby. So
how's that working out for you?
I consider it a failure as a hobby.
There are many reasons dogs lose mobility. That's why Eddie's Wheels looks at each dog and custom makes carts for nearly 2,000 animals a year.
It's kind of gratifying to see a dog drag itself in, sad and depressed, put it in a cart, it smiles, wags its tail, and runs off.
That's why the family also adopts disabled dogs, like Webster, born without front legs, and Bo, paralyzed as a puppy. They're motivators for dogs like Pepper.
This is amazing.
Who get back up and enjoy rolling in a whole new way.
Look at you go.
Jamie Yukis, CBS News, Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts.
The business is expanding. They just made carts for a pig and an alpaca. The prices range from $400 to $1,200 depending on the size of the animal and the need for 2 wheels or 4. Now let's head over to Chris for another check of the weather. A warm day and dry for now.
Yeah, we're going to hang on to the dry weather through the evening. That'll change up, though, around this time tomorrow for many of us. But look at the numbers. It's 77 degrees into southeastern Kentucky. Thermometers have been closing in on 80. Think you can hit 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon, southeastern Kentucky. Yet it's only 67 into Frankfort, 74 Lexington and along the Mountain Parkway corridor. Why the big difference in Frankfort? We've had some showers not too far away from the downtown area, so you're getting in on a touch of some rain, cooled air that has been lifting to the north. And we're looking at Frankfort. Most of the rains are off to our west and northwest along the Ohio River counties. Should stay there through the remainder of the evening. Tomorrow, all of that mess rolls its way into central and eastern Kentucky.
Everybody gets in on the action tomorrow.
Yeah, for the next several days. It comes at us in waves.
We're glad you're with us here on WKYT. Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott are next with what's ahead at 4:30.